Phyllis Susan in 1974 was encouraged by Marie Mazel to create another youth orchestra in Pittsburgh because there was a youth orchestra, the Pittsburgh Youth Symphony, and it already had more kids than it knew what to do with. And so Marie Mazel said, we need another one. So Phyllis Susan started the Three Rivers Training Orchestra right here at Duquesne University, where we were filming. Thank you, Duquesne University. That first season, they had a full orchestra led by Bernie Goldberg, the principal flutist of the Pittsburgh Symphony. And some really amazing people were in the orchestra that stayed connected with the organization since then, including one of our coaches now is an alum, and one of our former board members was in that very first season of TRYPO. And so it's been really exciting to kind of sit on this history and think about that 50 years and the students who were in that first room and that first rehearsal to where we are now. The work that we do with the next generation is the most critical work because you have a chance to shape and frame ideas and beliefs and an opinion of this art form that is so important at these formative years, and it never leaves them and it never changes, and I didn't get it until after I started working here.
You know, the value of music education and playing in a youth orchestra like ours isn't just about making great music. It's about creating a generation of young people who think and who care and who show empathy, and the arts do exactly that. And playing in an ensemble gives them that lifelong connection to doing that. And years from now, many of them who are not going to be musicians, who decide that they want to pick up their instrument again and dust it off and play in an ensemble or do some chamber music with a couple of friends and neighbors, will always have that connection.
These are students that are willing to wake up on a Saturday morning and be here for a rehearsal for 2 hours with people from all over the city. And that is a really special type of person that's willing to give up some time like that to make music. And that ends up being a really important part of music education and performance.
Whether students decide to go into music or other fields, no other class that they're ever going to take or activity is going to combine all the different elements that we cover in music. I sort of think of it like math. Some people say, why do I have to learn math? I'm never going to use this in my life. Well, you do it because it teaches you how to think. It's the same way with music. I think that when you learn an instrument, you're learning to think in a way that you never would.
It's so important to keep music going, to keep them interested in it, to get them passionate about it. So I think it's very, very important. I don't want music to end, so I want it to keep going and make other people love it as much as I do.
Years ago, I had the realization that when programming music for kids, there needs to be as diverse a program as possible. That diversity goes to just basic things like key signatures and time signatures and tempo. But we live in a global world now. 150 years ago, it would be much more difficult to program such a wide variety of music, but we have no excuse now. So the music we perform should expose the kids to different cultures. It should expose them to different composers, Black, white, Latin American, male, female. We owe it to every child also for their own development, to expose them to as much diversity as possible.
Working with TRYPO has helped shape what I want to do post my music ed degree, to just be able to interact with kids, kind of learning like what works best for them, and even just being able to observe Pierce rehearse has given me a lot of knowledge on how I can use some of his strategies into my own classroom.
Getting to work with the staff every week, working with Pierce Cook is so much fun, and I've learned so much from him in the 2.5 years that we've worked together. And the kids are just always so excited to show up to rehearsal, and they really brighten my week. Sometimes I think to myself, like, oh my gosh, like if I'm interacting with this student, it's like, yeah, I've been there, I've done that, I totally understand like what it is you're going through. And I think it helps me have like empathy for the kids, because sometimes middle school, high school, like that's a rough age range, and just like understanding like they're humans too, being able to support them and say, hey, like I've been through like youth orchestras or just been through the past. And then it helps like build that relationship as almost like a mentor, as well as just like the person who takes attendance at the beginning of rehearsals.
My name is Tadao, and I play in TRYPO as a member of the French horn section, as well as the pianist for the concerto competition.
My name is Abril Linares Mendoza, and I'm a violinist in YPO.
There are so many of my favorite memories, but I think the best one has to be going to Washington, D.C. Last year to play with the Air Force musicians. And just being with them was really cool. Of course, going around DC was really fun. It was amazing to learn from such amazing musicians down there. So.
One of my favorite memories in TRYPO is probably mini camp. I love meeting all the new members, but also getting back together with the members from past seasons, and I love all the games we play together as a group.
I'm so excited to go on tour in Prague in Germany this year. It's obviously my first tour with TRYPO, but I think it's really magical to play music in another country. You just get a different, the way people interact with the music is different, and obviously we're playing Dvorak, and so we'll have that kind of connection, and Smetana, so that'll be really exciting, and just the experiences that I'll have in those countries with all my friends from TRYPO, I'm sure will be very memorable.
Advice I'd have for future TRYPO members is to learn your pieces by listening to other orchestras play online, but also listen to the pieces whenever you're just either studying or doing something like that. It makes you kind of feel closer to the piece you're playing.
Right now we're going on college visits. It has benefited him in so many different ways. The seeds that have been sown throughout the years that are coming up right now, because he walks into those college campuses completely prepared, because TRYPO prepares the entire musician. You're ready for auditions, you're not only playing high-level music, but they expect a lot of these kids. And he's going in and watching rehearsals at the college level, and he's not feeling intimidated. He's feeling like he could absolutely be a part of that.
I enjoy just playing in an ensemble. It's nice, and it helps to be able to have other people that enjoy playing music and have fun doing it even more. We got to perform alongside some of the Air Force Strings members, and that was very fun to get experts talk to us and actually perform alongside them.
The leadership of TRYPO compelled me to be on the board. It's a dynamic group of people that are doing wonderful things for the area of Pittsburgh at large. I'm passionate about the work that TRYPO does because of my past as a student of youth orchestras, my time in secondary music, and now my time at the university. I see what TRYPO does for the students, and I'm really grateful to be a part of that.
I think my favorite part of working for TRYPO has been facilitating and dreaming and processing the growth that has happened, especially in the last 10 years. We joke about the organization having these tentacles into the community, but those tentacles touch every single neighborhood and so many kids and so many families. And we finally just recently got our, what we think is an accurate alumni count, 2,600 alums, not including students currently enrolled. And that means also their families and their parents and their teachers and their grandmas and their aunts and their cousins and their uncles. So the multiplication of the reach this organization has had, and the fact that that reach has grown so much, is inspiring.
Celebrating 50 years with TRYPO is a very special thing, because here in Pittsburgh there are so many wonderful opportunities to create music, especially for our young people. And the fact that TRYPO has been a center part of that for the last 50 years is tremendous, and making that celebration with all of our ensembles and culminating in a performance with YPO that evening, and then bringing someone as legendary as Norm Lewis to Pittsburgh to sing with the orchestra, as well as having a very talented concerto winner who's actually a member of our orchestra but playing a piano concerto, playing the Grieg, is an exciting thing. So to have Tadao playing the Grieg with us, Norm singing with us, and featuring our orchestra is a wonderful way to celebrate the 50 years that TRYPO has brought music into the homes of many music students and their families.
Amazing, wonderful board of directors that has been supportive and helped to make that happen, and then a generous community who provides the funding that helps make that happen as well. All of these things coming together to make an organization that truly is, we hope, making a difference in the lives of the students it serves.
Cheers to 50 years of Three Rivers Young People's Orchestras.
Cheers to 50 years.
Cheers to 50 years. Cheers to 50 years of TRYPO.
Cheers to 50 years.
Cheers to 50 years.
Cheers to 50 years.
Cheers to 50 years.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to 50 years.
Cheers to 50 years of Three Rivers Young People's Orchestras.